Friends, in my last video, I mentioned that the Browne Amplification Protein version 4 is the GOAT of overdrive pedals. Well, they must have a goat farm over at Browne Amplification because the Ethane is another goat. And this pedal was done in conjunction with Andertons in the UK, as far as I know. This has a blue side of the Protein, blues breaker type circuit, and then you have a tube screamer type circuit over here, which is their Gridador pedal, if you're familiar. And this is going to give the Protein a run for its money, although I kind of think you need both of them. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but if you were to run these in conjunction with each other, the Protein version 4 with the Ethane, you would have 4 very unique sounds. And some of that has to do with these a high cut that they have on this toggle here. So if you were to run the two pedals together, you could also go and split these out, so it'd be 4 separate overdrives. So 2 pedals, 4 separate overdrives, and you could mix and match the order. So pretty cool. Anyway, let's get into the Ethane. The sort of obvious beginning kind of tone to go here is to grab a clean tone. I think a lot of people will start here with this pedal. So today I have pulled up the Neural DSP Corey Wong X plugin, and I'm using a ML Sound Lab IR as the cabinet. I've also got a little bit of spring reverb happening. So anyway, here's the clean tone on my hot rodded Telly. Okay, here's the bridge. Okay, so let's engage the blue side. Again, that's one of the things I love about Browne Amplification's pedals is you can pretty much get a great sound with everything just at noon. We could engage a little bit of high cut if we want. A lot of times I just leave it in the middle. There's more high cut as well if you need it. A lot of times I just leave it in the middle and I fiddle with the tone knob until I'm happy. Okay, so you got your song, your foundational kind of tone here. All right. And now you need a little extra, or you get to that moment in the song where it's the guitar player's turn, and you click on that green side, which is the tube screamer type circuit here. Okay, so you got this kind of sweetening saturation thing happening. Uh, this is highly tuned or highly modified tube screamer circuit that Dave at Browne Amplification worked on for many years. And you're getting the benefit of those ears that he has. So I'm just trying to play some real basic things here that can kind of give you an idea of what kind of even compression this is kind of adding as it hits the blue side. Many of you who know Browne stuff, you will know that the blue side will make a lot of things sound better. Also, if you were to use the green side as something to push other pedals into, you would notice that there's a voicing, the specific voicing of this almost acts as a filter to whatever you're pushing into it. Okay. So anyway, let's compare sort of some basic sounds here. Here's the blue side as your kind of foundational overdrive. Let's hear how a basic sound would compare on the green side. So it may be hard to hear on this video, but there's a little less bottom end, not a whole lot, but the blue side's going to have a little more low end. The green side is going to be just a little more focus. Obviously, there's a mid-range shift there and a mid-range focus. Okay, so let's talk about a couple other obvious things. You could use the green side to push into something else even. So if you leave the blue side off, also you can use your ABY cables to split these out in any configuration you want to. So if you want the blue side to go into the green side, you use your ABY cables to achieve that. The green side would be, used traditionally a lot to go into like a Marshall cranked amp and maybe something around these settings to get into your lead tone. So that's kind of what we were doing here with both sides engaged. All right, and is going to give you that mid-range bump for your solos and such. Let's see. Now, I've done a bunch of other videos on the gridded ore and the carbon or the blue side for Browne amplification. Let's just kind of hear the range of clipping that we get out of this pedal. So, again, here's our clean tone. A lot of clarity in that clean tone. Let's fiddle around with some different drive settings here. Very cool sound there. Let's just go ahead and dime it out. So what I've always heard with that circuit that Dave has been working on, the Tube Screamer has a bit of a clean blend that happens in the circuit. And it's really cool because whatever you're going into while you have this circuit engaged, it's going to take your guitar, make your guitar sound better through whatever you're pushing it into, because of that clean blend that's in there. So um, you're gonna hear things about your guitar you may not even know in terms of um, tonal capabilities of the guitar itself, that this is pushing out. I hope that makes sense. Um, as far as the blue side, for those of you who don't know, let's look at the range of this. So again, here's our clean tone. Engaging more high cut. Okay, so that could give you an idea about what kind of distortion is on tap for this. I wouldn't even hardly call that distortion. It's just basically good old tube amp breakup. This is going to get you a little more into the distortion land, but even still, this is kind of more of like a saturation machine. That's kind of what I would call it. Anyway, you can look at a lot of my previous videos that I've done on Browne Amplification's products. And yeah, there's something special happening here. Let's kind of go back to where we started. So we get back to how I think a lot of people will run this if they were just running this pedal. So I would kind of put that in sort of the Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of idea, where you've got a nice glassy breakup, and then you add the tube screamer in, and you get all kinds of shades of emotion, really, out of your guitar. It's very friendly to the guitar's um, range of frequencies. It's just going to enhance what you have going on. So as you can see, when I'm using it in this configuration with this amp, I did bump up the tone quite a bit on the Gridador. If you were playing through maybe like a Vox AC30 type circuit or sort of a brighter sound, you would, not need as much of that. Okay, let's do one last experiment with this pedal. Let's look at the mid-range signature that this is going to put onto the clean tone that I have. Okay, so we'll start with the blue side. Here's our clean tone. Okay, so there's a little mid-range focusing happening there. It's cutting down on the brightness of this clean tone a little bit. And man, it sounds good. Gee whiz. That's another reason why this is killer on bass. Okay, let's look at the mid-range that this is adding, the green side. So here's our clean tone. Okay, so obviously quite a bit of mid-range on that, which is another reason why that's great on bass as well. Um, okay, let's try to get the drive even lower and just listen to the frequency here. All right, friends, one thing left to do. Go get one.
Up through the forest trails. Sometimes the goats wander far from home, and it takes time to find them in the dense forest. He dashes from one place to another, carefully scanning the dense foliage.